In our news bulletin for this evening, Niue police assist the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation with a kidnapping case. Niue strengthens diplomatic relations with India with the arrival of the Indian High Commissioner to the island. Animal genetics project findings encourage local farmers to maintain the local genetic pool of chickens on the island. Cyclone season begins for the Pacific region and communities are encouraged to be vigilant and on alert. A custody battle in the United States has ended on the shores of Niue, with Niue police at the center of assisting the Federal Bureau of Investigation with the return of a missing 9-year-old boy who was allegedly kidnapped by his father from Seattle. Local police and authorities say that according to their investigations, the boy and his father had sailed direct from Seattle for 60 days before arriving here in Niue on Wednesday last week. Chief of Police Tony Edwards says that the department was alerted by a member of the public on Wednesday and the man was taken into police custody for breaching our border security. Since then, arrangements were made for the person of interest, Mr. Jeffrey Ford Hansen, to be returned to the United States.
My staff have escorted the father through to New Zealand on Saturday, and now he is in Seattle at the moment. He had a 2-hour layover in Auckland and straight on to the next flight into Seattle. So we've basically completed our part of of dealing with this interested person. We've basically now handed it over to the FBI in the United States.
Meanwhile, the young boy has been in the custody of a local family for the past few days, with the community coming together to care for his well-being.
I'd just like to thank Mark Cross and Ahi, who have voluntary to take care of this young boy. We always appreciate the assistance out in the community, and Mark and Ahi have gone beyond to look after this child, and there's others in the community who have taken the boy in and have taken time out to look after him, and that just shows the hospitality of our little island. But the boy simply had to stay behind because there was no available seats on the flight. So we had to make sure that we send the father out first, and then the son will follow.
U.S. authorities also arrived over the weekend to conduct an assessment before returning the young boy to the U.S. today.
We've got an FBI agent here. He's here just to facilitate the process of returning the father, and also to facilitate the return of the young son. And we've also got child protection advocates who are here just to look at the, just to assess the young boy and see what his conditions are and how he is and how he's coped with it. So they're just here for his well-being and to make sure that they accompany this child and return him safely back to his mother.
Chief Edwards says that the border agencies had systems in place and that they had received information through the Pacific Transnational Crimes Office to be on the alert.
The biggest thing is that it just goes to show that no one can just come into the island without being detected. We have really good systems in place with the border control, especially with police now. With our PTCCC, we get regular information on what's going on in the Pacific. One important thing is that we shouldn't be complacent about whatever goes on in Niue. We should always be on alert, and we've done exactly that. We always make sure that we monitor these kind of activities going on in the country. Our people are quite used to things happening in the old Niuean way, where it's nice and peaceful. But there will come a time where these criminal activities will continue to come here to Niue. And it's a great example that this person has used Niue as a very nice place. That is why he came straight from Seattle to Niue. And it shows that you just can't walk into this country because our border controls have stepped up with their systems and also the processes to ensure that our island is safe.
Your police have also attributed the success of this process due to the cooperation between border control agencies such as Customs, Immigration, Crown Law and also community cooperation. Chief Edwards says that in the end it is all about working together. The young boy left on today's flight to be reunited with his mother in the United States. Niue continues to strengthen diplomatic ties and relations with India, marked with the arrival of the Indian High Commissioner to New Zealand on the island. In a ceremony held at the Whalefono yesterday morning, His Excellency Ravi Thapar was able to present his letter of credentials to the Niue government as India's first non-resident commissioner to Niue. The occasion marks a close, cordial relationship between the two countries since diplomatic relations were established in 2012 at the Pacific Island Forum Leaders Meeting in the Cook Islands. His Excellency Ravi Thapar expressed his delight in finally making this first visit to Niue and reiterated the value India has for its relationship with Niue despite its distant geographical location.
India and Niue traditionally share close and cordial relations, reinforced by India's strong commitment on working closely and actively with the Pacific Island countries in various developmental sectors. India greatly appreciates the concerns of the Pacific Islands on climate change, human resource development, upgradation of infrastructure, and other such issues. Accordingly, it has allocated tangible assistance funds on an ongoing basis for application and utilization in these areas. It is indeed satisfying to know that the government of Niue is benefiting from such programs, which are a token of India's friendship and solidarity for the people of this beautiful country. Although Niue is at a considerable geographical distance from India, in the current era of globalization and digital revolution, it is possible for the talented communities in both countries to work closely with each other. Indian scientific, medical, and other professionals could provide guidance to Niue's experts in critical areas such as agriculture, education, public health and medicine, meteorology, disaster management, and other such areas. Specialized Indian institutions could also network with their Niue counterparts.
He also highlighted training opportunities for Niue considering India's advanced technological expertise and vibrant economy. Premier Toketalangi expressed his pleasure with this latest development and acknowledged the financial assistance received over the years that has seen the upgrade of the Niue market, the Niue Youth Centre renovations, Tsunema Training Centre, the Tamkotonga Pastor's House and Leolangi Restoration Project, amongst others.
We have always had a close relationship, and many people would question why we would ever have diplomatic relations with India and China and Singapore and some of those other countries. It is a fact that we need to engender friendship with many people, to express our voice to many people, to show that we are part of this international community, large or small. When we talk about climate change, we believe that we all share the concerns that you have. But we need to talk about it and determine a pathway forward for ourselves and for yourselves so that you can help reduce the emissions that's causing all of us, including yourselves, a lot of problems at the present moment. We believe that your scientific breakthroughs in many areas that you have cited this morning will enable you to help provide us scientific solutions to climate change that is occurring at the present moment. So we hope that you will be able to use some of the talented people that you have and the scientific institutions that you have to assist in this. I welcome you here to Niue. I welcome your wife and your delegation here to Niue as well. I hope you do enjoy your stay here, and I hope that we will continue to work together bilaterally to enable ourselves, both you and us, to develop a better country, better world for ourselves, all of us.
Niue has benefited from many programs that are a reflection of Indians' friendship and solidarity, as well as the value of relations with the island. Maintaining the genetic pool of livestock on the island is part of a project that Niue is looking to implement as part of an ongoing animal genetics project funded by FAO. Blood samples from livestock, specifically pigs and chickens, were collected a few years ago to establish a genetic variety that could provide possible breeding capacity for the region. A one-day workshop organized by the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries was held yesterday as a follow-up of the project that looked at the importance of animal genetic resources for food security and agriculture.
Animal genetic resources is an important asset for the world because we maintain and we conserve and we use animal genetic resources for breeding, for food security and for agriculture. And that's the main reason why we are here in Niue, to try and implement some projects that we will be conserving some animal genetic resources here, particularly chicken, indigenous chickens of Niue.
Two consultants from the Secretariat of the Pacific Community were on the island to discuss results from previous samples taken and to develop further projects that look at conservation, breeding and multiplication of chickens.
We are trying to implement in Niue at this time is we want to implement a conservation, breeding and multiplication of the indigenous chickens of Niue. Because we have done in 2008 to 2011, we did a survey, and when we came to Niue, we sampled pigs and chickens, and out of those samples, the results have come back and indicated that the Niue indigenous chickens is quite unique, very unique. In fact, a very unique chicken. So it is important that we conserve this chicken that is here in Niue so that it's not contaminated with other breeds, commercial breeds particularly, so that we can use this for future breeding, for future food security and other production.
Mr. Nonga says that the local or indigenous chicken species are a hardy stock that tends to be resistant to many diseases, tolerant to increased temperatures and adaptable to the ever-changing conditions that make them very important for breeding purposes. The encouragement is for farmers to continue to conserve and maintain the livelihood of the indigenous chickens of Niue and not to crossbreed. Crossbreeding will dilute the genetics of the local chicken, according to experts. Animal genetic resources are an asset to ensuring food security and should also be monitored closely. As the cyclone season rolls out in the Pacific region from the 1st of November, communities had been reminded to be prepared. Now into the official cyclone season, predictions from the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research is that the region can expect an average of 8 to 12 cyclones in all, with a normal slow start and February or March peak. As for Niue, it is estimated that we can expect between 1 to 2 cyclones for this season. Vanuatu and New Caledonia are expected to have lower than normal risk, and a zone of slightly higher than normal risk is expected to stretch from Tuvalu across Tokelau, Samoa, to between Niue and the Southern Cook Islands. Niue predicts that there are expected to be small variations from normal, and vigilance is recommended at all times. Cyclone season in the Pacific will end on the 30th of April of next year. Whakausimehinei e tau walatale te tupu ke lata e me awhiawhinei, ka kwa mana koe fōki e whāhinga hoi leo ke whakailoa atu e whalatom nikianga ke whakatangi ai e tau pū pe autorotua ke aho pungi koe tau whakaholoanga whakataitai ane ke kisia kua ngā hua mtaki na kai te koloa nei ne kua hake he motu. Mana koe ke hātaki atu ke tau tangata ke aua ia ne ke ofo ka eke ke longo ane tau pū nei ka whakatangi ai ke he tā mga hala he aho pungi. That ends our news bulletin for this evening, but in light of the cyclone season, the Niue Police will be testing the tsunami sirens tomorrow or throughout the day tomorrow, and would like to remind the public to be advised or are aware that these are tests and not to be alarmed as they are part of scheduled tests throughout the day.